Thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it. There is a very important bill that is making its moves through the process, and I wanted to share it with you. It is called the Commitment to Veterans Support and Outreach Act. Again, it's the Commitment to Veterans Support and Outreach Act. Very important, and I'll put that in the description of the video, so that way if you do support this, you should absolutely reach out to your congressional member and let them know that you support this piece of legislation. Now, we all know that a lot of veteran service offices throughout the nation that are supposed to be there to serve us are typically severely underfunded. And what happens is that this creates an environment to where they can only operate in a reactive way. We need these operations to focus in a more productive and efficient and proactive way. And this act will do some of that. So I wanted to let you know where this is at through the process, share it with you. This information just came out about a week ago. And so please hit the thumbs up, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. Really appreciate it. Look, this is one of those things where we need to make sure the word gets out there. The two things that I ask always are, look, hit the thumbs up, let the video run for some time. You know, if you can watch the whole thing, that's great. That's what tells YouTube to put this in the hands of others that are looking for this type of information. If you want to support the channel in other ways, please consider being a member. I really do appreciate that. You can go to the home page. There's a highlighted member section and click the join button. Thank you to all you members. All right, so let's jump in here. Baldwin-sponsored bill would allow federal grants to support local veteran service officers. That is the headline here. There's kind of like a subheadline. Bill was approved in the U.S. Senate, awaits vote in House of Representatives. So again, if you support this, you need to reach out to your congressional member. There's several different ways, right? You can make an appointment and go sit down and talk with them. It's not really needed. You can go in person, tell the staffer there that you support this piece of legislation, or you can make a phone call, tell them that you support it, or you can even go on their website and send them an email through their website and simply just state that you support the Commitment to Veterans Support and Outreach Act, and you hope that they do too, or something to that effect. All right. Local veteran service officers, okay, now, when you think of VSO, veteran service officers, it's different than veteran service organizations, which is also VSO, so it gets confusing. Veteran service officers are typically county employees throughout the states that provide the services to connect veterans to the various different benefits in which they've earned. So, these are county employees, very small staffs typically. So, local veteran service officers connect veterans with federal programs, file pension and compensation claims, and help them enroll in job, housing, disability, and education benefits. But in Wisconsin, which is where this senator probably is, moving on. But in Wisconsin, those positions are largely funded by county or tribal governments. And I'll tell you, it's the same in, as far as I know, every state. It's heavily county funded, and then in some situations, there'll be some state funding, and maybe they were able to scrape something from somewhere else. All right, moving on. We get a small grant from the state, and that's it, said Joe Aulik, the Brown County Veteran Service Officer. Other large human services type departments in counties get major funding from the federal government to help their citizens. And we're out here trying to help veterans who serve their country. A bipartisan bill sponsored by Wisconsin's Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin aims to change that. The legislation recently passed the U.S. Senate unanimously, but still needs a vote in the House of Representatives before heading to the president's desk. The Commitment to Veteran Support and Outreach Act would allow the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, or the VA, to provide grants to states to improve outreach and support for veterans submitting benefit claims or increase the number of local veteran service officers in a state. The VA would be required to prioritize awarding grants in areas with shortages of county or tribal veteran service officers, places with high suicide rates among veterans, and areas with high referrals to the Veterans Crisis Line. Right now, not a single federal penny goes into the County Veteran Service Officer Network, Baldwin said. We think, especially in areas of high need, that there should be a federal role because these officers are helping them access benefits on the federal side, which is true. And, you know, I am for this. I mean, for all that matters, I am 100% behind this because I know that these offices in large are underfunded. Baldwin said local veteran service officers played a role in uncovering problems with a former doctor's work at the VA Medical Center there in Wisconsin, who is alleged to have misdiagnosed veterans with traumatic brain injury. Over 600 veterans were eligible to have their disability claims re-examined after VA officials identified problems with the former doctor's work at the facility. The VA made the announcement after Baldwin said she met with the VA secretary and pushed him to investigate the situation. Baldwin said veteran service officers in the county surrounding that hospital helped establish a pattern of misdiagnosis. Once that pattern was established, this wasn't just standing side by side with one veteran or two veterans. We realized that this might be very widespread, Baldwin said. Baldwin said cases like that highlight the vital role local veteran service officers play in their communities and why it's important for federal government to provide additional resources. It is important. It is so important, the role of the county veteran service officers and the role that they play, that not only in helping each veteran one at a time, but also noticing trends and noticing concerns that need to be raised to a higher level, she said. Aulik said, and Aulik again is the county veteran service officer there, said a previous version of the Veteran Services Officers Bill had passed the House but failed to clear the Senate. He hopes that this time the bill reaches the president's desk. It's just time that we pass a version of this bill, he said. The longer you wait, the more veterans go without. The sooner we can do this, the more veterans can be helped and improve the quality of their lives. Now, again, I support this wholeheartedly, and I believe that there is a role for the federal government to ensure that veterans are aware of the various benefits that they've had. I've said it before that the veteran population in the U.S., depending on where you're getting your numbers, right, it's a hard number to really pin down, but it's, I would say, somewhere between 16.5 to 18.5 million veterans in the U.S., and only 30% are actually receiving VA compensation at some level, right? Which means what? That 70% are not. So 30% are, 70% are not. And we all know that, you know, out of those 70%, a large number of those folks would qualify for something. And in my opinion, if we had boots on the ground in the local vicinity, right? So in the counties in which we live, veterans, because we live everywhere, if we had professionals in our counties that were proactive out there, you know, reaching out, letting people know what's going on, visiting convalescent homes, that type of stuff. I mean, you know, it's heartbreaking when you hear of situations where you have a World War II Korea veteran who's in a convalescent home or something like that, and they had no clue, or maybe they did have a clue, but there was nobody to really have a conversation with them about the benefits that they have, how vast they are, and how they can transcend from being their benefit to moving over and becoming a spouse benefit through dependency, indemnity compensation, and so forth. So this is the type of stuff that I'm really, I don't know, I guess hopeful is kind of a funny word, but hopeful that if passed, that we can really start to make a bigger dent in the veterans claims, I guess, numbers, right? Because I think that they should be higher. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.